Booyah shaka! Give thanks and praise. Big love
What
and
up? What up?
respect,
What's up?
YouTube world. Let's see if I can get all the comments going. Yeah, much love, everybody. Welcome back to the Slick Distant Shared Artistic Expression. Going live with my brothers PK and Chris Miner in the house. We got a million Brazilian things to talk about tonight. There is no particular thread or theme or target. We are just going to free flow data dump. Big love to James Kaplan. Much respect, y'all. Yeah, fellas, what's happening? What's going on in your world?
What's good?
What's
So this
up?
was kind of spur of the moment by all of us. So, but man, we got some stuff to share, stuff to
There we go.
to
Share
talk
that out.
about. What's up with you, Chris? What's good?
Nothing much, man. I just shared that out. I was sharing that with the people on my channel so they know that we're doing this. Ready to rock. What are you guys up to?
Heck yeah. So Gabe's background looks different.
It does.
Was
Interesting looking.
so I don't see the art.
Yep, I'm at my hermitage right now.
Where's your starboard?
my home away from home? I do have a dry erase board ready to go, though. You better believe I never leave home without it.
You do. Oh, that's great.
Yeah, man, I am determined. I am bound and determined to put the AI to shame with my Luddite technology.
With your dry erase markers.
Yeah, man. Do you know what the anagram for Carbondale is?
It is. Oh wait, it is a
No, I don't know.
clean board.
That's it. Clean board. Clean the board. Yeah. Very
Okay.
fascinating. And Carbondale is ground zero for X marks
And
the spot.
I didn't just do that in my head or anything. That guy Threadnosis did that first. That's why
Yeah.
so I wasn't
Come on, Chris.
calculating that. All right.
Let us believe.
Yeah, man. Yeah, it's pretty far out, that one. That Carbondale, the birthplace of Buckminster Fuller, is the X marks the spot for the GAE, the Great American Eclipse, which rhymes with Great American Experiment. You know, that GAE.
That gay.
So gay. Everything is astrological and gay.
All right. So last time, talk about astrology and gayness. Last time we ended on saying that we would bring up, or at least like look at what we were talking about a year ago to the date. And this time last year, I was going on about the digamma rabbit hole and Staros and all of that, which was a fascinating dig. Gabe was going on about I think he was just kind of discovering the IAU constellations and kind of digging into them, playing with the numbers of, one being Hydra, there's 88 constellations, and this was I think a bit before we sussed out Argo Navis, going from being the largest and then turning in 3. So that's what we were on about this time last year. And so I'm going to present something here. And what it is you got Gabe's handiwork over here on the right. Where it's basically all the 88 constellations of the IAU, so the recognized constellations, and this is I don't know the size of it, but I'm not sure what that is. It like square degrees or something, maybe?
Yeah, I think that's
what
it.
that is.
Yep.
So as you can see, Hydra's there now. And just going on, Gabe can, we all know he can see connections in almost anything, and get Jim Carrey with it if needed. So he was finding lots of connections here, as ordered here by the IAU. And so I was wondering, what would happen if we took the three constellations, Pupus, Vela, what's the Vela one? Valerium or something like that.
Yep. Which
And
they just had some corporate blowout around a company named Valerian just over the week that we were talking about it. But yeah,
really,
that's the sale of the ship. Yeah. Vela.
so and Karina, and basically, putting those three back in the proper spot, the pre-IAU dismantling of Argo Navis would make those three constellations one, and it would then leave an 86 constellations instead of. I'm hearing a little echo in the back. Maybe it's me. But that would leave 86 instead of 88. And 88's fitting mercurial number. I like how you said there too, the keys of the piano. It was kind of like they were trying to like pigeonhole in these 88. It's like 88 was important to them.
I would even say shoehorning. They were shoehorning it into piano. Yeah. Yep.
And so I don't know if you got much of a chance to look at this. Did anything stick out to you in a new order with these numbers, putting Argo Navis back at number 1?
Yes, it was very intensive to reorient from from the way things are presented as facts today, and to kind of time travel and see it the way the facts were before this reset. And so many things stood out, so many things stood out. For example, Hydra becoming number 2 instead of number 1 now. That's actually very apropos, as I see Hera, the goddess of the Greeks. She is a number 2. She's the number 2 personality type. She's always forgiving Zeus for his gallivanting around. Personality type wise, that's actually putting Hydra back into Hera's association by demoting Hydra down to number 2. Gives it more correspondence to Hera, who is the number 2 in the Enneagram of the gods and goddesses of the Greeks. And that's just one observation. But I absolutely adore imagining the constellations at 86 instead of 88. It just feels more candid to consider that now we're not doing this shoehorning, and we're putting the real shiny ship of relationships back together, kind of like the ship of Theseus. You know what I mean? And when we reassemble the ship of Theseus, like you're doing with this experiment, we're able to look back in time to the order before the capture, before the capsizing, before the
And that's assuming that that's like the only one they changed, right? I mean, who knows? We haven't looked into it that much. They may have like added, more, or split up some other one that we're just not aware of. It's not like it was 86 before the IAU got together, or anything. But
Yes.
you make a good point that one thing I thought was interesting is, especially over here, 33, we know that's all over the media, and Mason and Christ and spinal cord and blah, blah, blah. But like 33 being Scorpio, I thought was very fitting. But it's also fitting being 32, You can kind of use Kal-El here, although they don't all move down 1. But it just so happened that and this was also interesting. So the 3 that were moved, Pupus was at 20.
Yep.
Then you got Vela Valorium is at 32 and Carina's at 34. So
Right.
the 32 and 34 they're straddling the Scorpio. So that's the 3 that got jumped up when you reassemble the ship
Yes.
and put it back up top.
Yes.
Yeah.
So very important numbers, right? This 32 and this 34 dancing around that 33. I want to also I want to mention that Ariga in the can you go to mine? Where is Ariga? It's number
21.
Oh, so it has not changed. So 21 is still the same from one to the next because because Karina was the one that shifted. Is
Right.
that
Because the first one we moved was Pupus, number 20.
right? Right. Which goes into the place
So,
of Andromeda.
wait, does this make sense?
Pupus becomes number 20. Oh, and Andromeda. Is that making sense?
I don't know. That's confusing now. So, hold on. So, Ariga here is 21. If we move 20 to the top, shouldn't it be then?
Ariga should be 20, which is apropos as Ariga is the Aeon card that is number 20.
Wait. No, it wouldn't matter. No, it wouldn't matter because we're putting Argo Navis. No, we are adding 1 and shifting everything down. So really, Ariga should be 22. What is wrong with this?
Or should it be 20?
What have y'all
Chat,
done?
someone help.
What
Chris,
have
are you
y'all
following?
done? I was like messing with my mic and stuff, trying to listen to the reorganization while you were talking, but I don't know the shift you completely did here.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10.
My problem
1,
is I
2,
don't know
3,
the
4,
original.
5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. 1, 2, 3. What in Tar Heel?
Yeah.
So if we moved 20, let's look at this. We moved 20 right here.
We kind of dissolve it.
So you dissolved everything 20 from, but this is the dissolve.
And then this became 2.
Oh, but everything stays the same.
So
that's the
it would
first
remain
point.
the same.
It would remain the same because that's the first change in the
Pupus
order.
takes its spot. Pupus takes Argo's spot. And since it came before Ariga, therefore Ariga stays in the
21.
same spot.
Okay.
This makes sense.
Yeah. And this kind of adjustment to information is the reason why the rule of Kal-El serves in historical retroflexion. When you're looking back at different alphabets and they're off by 1 letter because J was a late arrival to the alphabet, well, there's still fidelity to the truth because of the rule of Kal-El. The rule of Kal-El is admitting that these orders have been adjusted ever so slightly, and just slightly enough that if you give yourself the willpower, which some people call permission, to take that liberty of +1 or -1, that is the codex to see that, yeah, these lists have been fucked with, but they're only fucked with by 1 degree or so, give or take.
Yeah, and so it shouldn't change. Yeah, till 32.
Okay.
See, 31 Cancer, 31 Cancer.
Yeah, and that is the rule of Kal-El, right? The subtract or add 1. Yeah, that's fucking weird.
Yep, I call it the rule of close enough is perfect.
It's really strange that's the spelling of Kal-El. I didn't know they spelled Kal-El like King Cole. King Cole popped up for me yesterday real randomly, and a link that I found just straggling on my computer, taking me to all these King Cole references. I was like, what the fuck? But I didn't know they spelled Kal-El like Kal-El. It's interesting.
Yeah, it is, and it's immortal. The concept is immortal because of Superman.
Yeah,
Dude,
Kal-El.
doing this exercise, listen to this, doing this exercise, think about this another way. If we take out all the three and reassemble Argo's ship, and the first one, then after we reassemble Argo Navis, the first constellation to be affected is the 33rd in order.
Signature,
Dude,
fingerprint.
that is such a signature. Is
It's
such a signature.
Yeah,
The
man.
first one affected is Scorpio. The 33rd constellation moves to 32 after
Yeah,
you
man.
reassemble the ship.
Yep.
That's wild.
And Scorpio has that royal star of Antares. Scorpio is renowned as the kiss of betrayal, and Antares is an anagram for treason. And so this aspecting of the kiss of betrayal and this signature move of revelation of the method, it's right there in between the lines. Like what we're doing right now is we're practicing interledger agency. The word intelligent is based on the concept of interledger agency. An interledger agency is reading between the lines. And so when we take the ledger as it's presented today and reflect on the ledger from which it came, the number 33 is standing out like a sore thumb between the lines. You know what I'm saying? Yeah.
Yep, 33 is the first one moved. And then what was cool too, this Monosaurus, which becomes the 33rd, is this constellation, the unicorn, right by right by Orion.
Yes. Yes.
One.
Yeah, Monoceros is very important. It's the unicorn that is on so much heraldry, and it is almost always depicted with chains. It's ensnared or enslaved. It's attached to the claim of the great chain of causality. And yeah, the royal families they consider this unicorn to be a very significant symbol of heraldry.
Yeah, it sounds like a symbol of a hive of some sort, like with the uni and the mono and the. I mean, you have one from many to one there.
Right. Yeah. For some reason, I don't know why, but when I see the unicorn on heraldry, I instantly think of eugenics, and I'm not sure why I have that association, but it just
makes sense because of the horn on. We don't see unicorns, so like to get one right now, you'd have to either get some glue or get some CRISPR.
Right. Right. It's almost like saying that the unicorn doesn't exist anymore because of genetic admixture, so to say, which is such an interesting word. Admixture. Ooh, what an interesting word. That's kind of what we're looking at with the old IAU list to the new IAU list. It's like somebody has thrown in some admixture. We have to go luckily and do the legwork to look at what was mixed.
Yeah, that one just stands out as the most obvious. I wonder what else. And there may not be a straight answer to that, because the whole purpose, they say, of the IAU was to have a I don't know if coherent's the right word, but at least an agreed upon complete system that the world could talk to and do astronomy with.
The systems of standardization are real,
right?
Are really
right.
Usually nefarious.
And so before that, there wasn't this standardization. So just the Argo Navis stood out like sore thumb. But I don't know if we could even dig and find, other ones, because it would be a matter of who you asked.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
As to, no, this wasn't the constellation before. Well, to them it was, that sort of thing. So.
Right. Yeah. And, just recently on Aeon Byte, Chris Knowles did a presentation. It's probably an old presentation, newly served up on the Aeon Byte channel. It was great. Chris Knowles and I.
Yeah, it was really good.
Yeah, we're two peas in a pod, and we're constantly thinking the same way, but coming up with just 2 or 3 degrees difference in uh, um, result. And so, yeah, he's so in the heavens, just like myself.
He
And so often
really
I'm
likes
following
that.
his imagination.
Really likes that band. The what is it? The Cocktail Twins with that girl Elizabeth, who he says is like a Sybil.
Yeah.
Yeah, really
And we,
likes them. He talks about them a lot. That's the only thing where I'm like, I never really listened to this. I listen to them, like I've
yeah.
heard of them, I've heard of some of their music, but are they really like? Is she really this? Because he gets into her a lot, like how she's like predicting all this stuff, and I'm just like, Jesus.
Wow. Yeah. I'm impressed because at a superficial, dismissive glimpse, I could see a lot of the mundane minded seeing what Chris Knowles is on about and being like, well, this guy's just obsessed with the superstar. And that is such a half measure of assessing what he's really on about. It's like, I think he's taken it beyond a mere, uh, starstruck, and he's turned it into his own art form. He's found his muse, and he's going to honor her to the utmost. And
Yeah.
he's not going to have any reservations about it.
I think he's almost. People seem to fail to recognize that I think he's kind of presenting like a pattern that other people can use and finding their own ways of like looking at how things are synchronous in how the happenings are synchronous around them. They could use a band, they could use a song, but there's just various ways to look at events that seem to predict in one another or come before the other.
Yes. Yeah, and to some degree, I'm sure that she has picked up on what Chris is laying out.
I would imagine, because I don't think, at least I could be wrong, but I never thought that band was that big of a band to where it would be that influential on people.
Right. And so to some degree, I think she may have picked up on Chris's claim, and she's like, hey,
Yeah.
I'm okay. If I'm the muse, if I'm creating things, then I'm good. So she's kind of rolling with it. But there's so much responsibility in accepting that presumption. But yeah.
Well, it
But
certainly seems like the record labels have picked up on it, and whoever she's working with, because they seem to be promoting her as that now. Like there's
Yes.
symbolism all around her stuff that is like Sybil-esque.
Totally. So it's going to become a self-fulfilling process that is going to pick up and run. Yeah. But one thing in his most recent presentation, he mentioned that at the same time that one of her new releases came onto, big up Mario,
Big up.
at the same time that one of her new releases was set out into the zeitgeist, that the IAU got together and made another renovation. And that was the Fraser Meteor, I believe. They named a, let me
Didn't
see.
they add an Elizabeth in this? They added like her name, which I mean,
It's an asteroid. They named the asteroid.
was it her full name they used?
No, they named it asteroid 2013 TF19 Fraser. And so
Okay.
they used her last name, Fraser.
And Fraser has like a weird connection with something else that I can't even remember right now. But there was the numerical value of Fraser equals. Do you remember what he said it was equaling?
I don't remember the
It
gematria,
was
but
important.
it's a hail to the strawberries, which is a family name.
It was Strawberry Fields, wasn't it something with?
There we go.
Yeah, because there was
Yeah,
all these
yeah.
connections with Strawberry Fields and Philip K. Dick, and
Totally.
yeah.
And something I just love to point out is that, through my years in produce, I know way too much about the word strawberry, way too much. But one of which is that strawberries get their name from their perniciousness. They have this aspect that other fruits have as well, that they can be strewn about on the ground, and they will grow where you plant them, but they will also sprout up elsewhere. They're kind of sprawlers, and they throw straw on top of them to keep them the temperature, for temperature control, for insulation. So then you throw straw on your strewn berries, and that's how you insulate them for the early season so that they can come up later in the spring and proliferate. So yeah, strewn berries, strawberries. Yeah, there's so much more to it. There's even people use a straw to core their strawberry. So, and a straw is exactly the plastic derivative of hay, for what we call straws, like straw bales. So yeah, you can use a straw to core your strawberries. Very meta, very, very meta, the strawberry.
So
Did I bounce out, or was that all of us?
That was you just for a minute. You're good.
Jesus Christ.
You're
sorry,
good
guys.
now.
your mic is low to me. I don't know if it's low to anyone else, but
Is that better?
A little bit.
Uh,
Go a little further.
yeah, go a little bit more.
How's that? Better? Better?
That's better. That's
Better?
better.
Yeah, let me keep
Yep.
it closer to me. Since I'm being a little quieter today.
Um, so what else you got, Chris? I got a little bit of AI stuff.
Yeah,
And
maybe we could. Maybe I could weave some
Israel.
of with your AI stuff after you throw some of your stuff, and then if anything because that was the last minute thing that I was sharing that I just was like just found, and part of the reason I was even excited I found it was because I've been saying for a while in random conversations with people about this that like there's something with the city AI in the Bible that people need to just figure out if they're doing the 666 thing, because it's bizarre. Well, and if they're doing any sort of AI weaves with the biblical text, because why is there a city called AI that was destroyed and it looks like a nuclear bomb hit it in all the freaking old drawings, like back in the day, even like the before the Renaissance drawings of this event, whether it was metaphorical, whatever. It just is
Yeah.
bizarre, and no one ever talks about it. And then this kid finally finds something where it's like 36 times, 6 times mentioned, and I was like, all right.
Yeah.
So I need to listen to the whole thing more. But
It's interesting. And one of my critiques with this is and the whole like Christians and 666 thing is to think that a number can be evil is kind of retarded.
yeah,
I don't know how else to say it, but it's like to demonize a number. It's like, guys, I think you're missing the point. Maybe go back to the drawing board and reevaluate, because to label a number, evil is
well,
little odd.
and I think the most of the interpretations that are, I guess, the most commonly accepted one, at least I've found by most people who are neutral on this sort of thing, or not really looking at it through they're objectively looking at it. Basically, they say it's like the number of man is 666 because of the 6 carbon, the 6 protons, 6 neutrons, 6 electrons, which is whatever the hell, if that's even correct.
I think there's something with like Zorath too, which is it gets into Kabbalah stuff, but
that's Steiner. Steiner said
Steiner.
the sun demon, Sorath is just a 666 thing that he calculates using, if I can't even remember how he does it, but yeah, he gets to it. It makes sense the way he does it too.
Wow.
So and plus it's a solar number, so like the magic square of the sun, wherever that came from.
Yeah,
it's got 666 prints on it. Yeah. So it's like, Steiner brought up that Zorat thing, but I think he got it from somewhere else. So like
sure
he was Rosicrucian and like
it's probably a Rosicrucian
stuff like that. So that's the one that I lean toward. Well, I also like the what's the guy's name? The Nero theory is interesting as well.
Yeah, the only thing with the Nero thing is that it keeps it. Well, I mean, I guess it's less fun because it kind of keeps it in the past, unless you're correlating someone today with the Nero character. It like almost makes it like a historical thing at that point. So people
Right.
then
That's
can't.
why. Yeah, I agree that it makes it less esoteric or whatever. It seems like whoever wrote John was going for wild and crazy, and that seems a little mundane. So
Yeah,
See,
I
man.
agree with that.
I find it interesting when these people start finding all these different connections in various translations with like just typing in a number and basically using an AI to find the connection most of the time, like a search engine at least to find the connections. But it's almost like the biblical texts are an AI written document that had all these hallucinations of self. Like
Dude,
it's
I've
self
thought that before too.
predestination in a way. It was like it was like predicting its own rise and fall in as it was writing itself.
Yeah, man. So one thing I should throw maybe early onto the fire is the aspecting of AI in the Greek mythology. It springs to life in a very pivotal story where when Ajax is killed, and I believe by Hector, I think it's Hector who kills Ajax, and Ajax is he's put into the earth, and I believe it's Hector who steals
Hey,
the
check
sacred.
your mic. Check your mic connection.
Oh, is it
Something.
me? Is it me?
There you go.
That's better.
Is that better?
Yeah,
Okay.
Yep.
Sorry.
Yep.
Yeah. So I believe it's Hector who kills Ajax. I might be wrong, but Ajax's armor is reappropriated to a different culture, the sacred armor, which is very parallel to the jacket of many colors from the Abrahamic mythology. The armor of Ajax kind of serves as a MacGuffin, much like the Technicolor Dreamcoat of Joseph, right?
It's
But-
moving. It's doing it again, Gabe.
Do you have the auto thing on?
Oh yeah, turn that auto. It might be a setting.
It sounds like it's muting you, like it's like your mic might be
Yeah,
on the
it's
auto
maybe
volume.
trying to echo cancel you or some shit.
Okay, let me see.
You sound better now.
Let's see. It's good now?
Yeah.
If I stay close, maybe if I stay close. Is it good?
Yeah, it seems good. Yeah, when you're close. I think that's. I think it might be doing echo canceling on you.
Okay.
But you're talking about Ajax.
Yeah, so when Ajax is buried into the earth has an explosion, like an explosion of light, like a protest that the earth is giving off, irradiating from the burying of this hero into the earth. And then a plant grows out of the crevice or the fissure of his burial ground, and the plant springs leaves, and on the leaves are written the initials of Ajax in Greek, and the initials on the leaf is AI. That is the Greek initials of Ajax, full whatever family name is AI, but AI translates in Greek, and PK, you're going to have to test me, brah. AI in Greek translates to the word woe, WOE. And so when Ajax dies, a plant grows out the initials, and the initials AI in Greek at the time translate to the word woe. And that in and of itself serves as something of a prophetic be ye warned.
I'm hearing a digamma. That's the W, the missing W. So it would make sense if there's just an AI, and digamma got lost.
And the Greeks had no digamma. It was retconned into their alphabet, and the word no digamma in reverse is Armageddon.
Yep.
And so they have very cunningly insinuated the danger and the hazard around this number 6 for generations uncounted. And the letter 6, the number 6, the shape of it is extremely sexy. It's extremely evocative of innuendo. It's sexy. And it is the 6th muse who is ever so sexy, as her name is Erato. And the Christians are in profound denial of the power of Erato. the power of eroticism. And as long as they stay in profound denial, then they will never appreciate that Black's Law Dictionary is an occulted Karma Sutra. And it's basically a grimoire of all the ways that they're going to fuck you and take advantage of you. And they've dressed it up as legal speak, when in fact, it's basically sexual positions.
Oh man, that's the first time I ever heard you talk about that. That's
Right?
kind of funny.
Black's Law Dictionary is an occulted Karma Sutra. And as long as you're
Oh my
adulting,
god.
as long as you're staying adult and we're being mature, then we're not allowed to point out how completely profane and sexual it is to have a pederastic ward take control of your willpower and go into the ritual in front of the black rope. Yeah.
When you
Yep,
mention
right on,
the Ajax, what is that other goat symbol that's not Baphomet? It's like starts with the. It's like basically a goat that is on a vegetable sort of plant that grows out of the ground. I can't remember the name of it. It sounds like Baphomet, but it's something slightly skewed. It's different. The name is slightly different.
If you find it, let me know. I'm very interested.
I think it's from like Tartar sort of.
Mm-hmm.
Let me,
Well, I'll say this. In French, the endearing word for your sweetheart is mon petit chou. And mon petit chou means my little cabbage. But it's also kind of saying my little head. And the Baphomet is a talking oracular head. So a cabbage association with the Kaaba of a goat is very apropos. The linguistic consistency is right there.
All I have for you is the cornucopia.
Oh, yeah, Capilla. This is it, Chris. This will totally thread to what you're thinking about because of the Capilla. Yeah.
This relates back to that Montecero that we were talking about, the 33, or would be the 33rd constellation.
Right.
oh man, this is
Ties
gonna
back
bother
to
me.
this.
It's gonna bother me
Capella,
so
this-
bad not finding the right name for it. James Kaplan, do you know the name I'm talking about?
Call in James.
It's a
James, when
freaking-
you coming live? When
It's
you
a-
living with us,
It's a
James?
goat that grows out of the ground. Where's Santos Bonacci when you need him for one thing? Yeah.
Out of the ground.
Baphomet versus Matt. I can't remember what the
Yeah.
hell it is. Damn it, guys. My bad.
It's all good. It's all good. I love.
Oh, there, he's got it.
I knew he would have it. Baramets. There we go.
Whoa.
Baramets. They actually have a
Never heard
Wikipedia
of
for
that.
them too. Yeah, there's even a Wikipedia. It's like the vegetable lamb of Tartary.
Wow. My
So-
horizons just got vaster and vaster right there.
But that sounds like Ajax. Like it sounds like what you were saying. Like this, basically this entity
damn.
that grows out of the ground, but it says AI, which is interesting because we have a goat growing out of the ground.
Yes. Okay.
Yeah.
So, this is where, I know it seems chaotic and it's not helpful at first, but something that Slick Dissident is constantly doing is while everybody's looking at, the Sirius star is the Canis Major star, and everybody's looking at Canis Major and Canis Minor. Slick is all in his own camp, armchair quarterbacking, screaming at the world, "You guys forgot about Canis Venatici. There's two totally other dogs over here." Well, same thing is going with the goats. Everybody's nice and comfortable. They think they know a thing about Capricorn representing the water goat down in the winter, the depths of winter. And then Slick comes along and makes everything more complicated than you could ever imagine because there are 3 more goats up there at least. There might be goats I never thought of before. But those other goats are also in an earth element zodiac sign. Capricorn is earth. Well, sure enough, you go up to Taurus, and in Taurus, the next earth element zodiac sign are 3 goats. There's 2 goats on the kidneys of Ariga, and then there's Capilla is a mother goat over his shoulder, and that's the graphic that you pulled up, PK. There are 3 goats in Taurus, and then there's that obvious water goat everybody knows about down in Capricorn. So yeah, just when you think you knew a thing, it gets 3 times as complicated because of these other goats in Taurus. And Capilla is a significant star for navigation. It's one of the brighter stars. Its pattern is very important for navigation.
And that Canis Venici became the 36th
Did it? Oh,
in
that's right.
order.
Yeah,
Mhm.
that hit me hard. That hit me hard.
Yeah.
That it went from, what was it before? 36 before in my list. What did I have?
Oh, that's weird.
Canis Venatici is a schizophrenic anagram for Vatican science. I love that. I just love that. That is so typical.
So listen to this.
38?
Before we move
Okay.
off the lamb and the goat, there's a
Is that
poem.
CVA?
CVA.
Yeah. Yep. You got it. Yep.
But before we move off the lamb and the goat, there's a poem from Erasmus Darwin regarding barometers, and he mentions it as the pole, like almost like a pole star. Like he's like, even round the pole, the flames of love aspire, and he's talking about this barometers, which is interesting.
Yeah. See
So
now, this brings us a little more towards Taurus, especially with everything our brother Mario has done regarding the pole and the bull.
yeah, because
Right.
he gets into the Arctic here too, so he's definitely talking about like one of the poles, south or north. I don't know how it connects to this Lamb of Tartarus, but
Man, yeah.
Hmm.
I love doing this where it's like slowly but surely we build up evidence to not look at Capricorn so reflexively and to appreciate that maybe we're looking at Taurus a little more and more. Ariga is a minor deacon of Taurus with Orion, Eradnus, the river, Eridanus, and Ariga, the charioteer. And Ariga is the gift that keeps on giving. I tell you guys what, I think that Ariga is, while there are plenty of other pentagrams in the stars, I think Ariga is the most significant pentagram because he has goats hiding behind his back and a third goat next to his head. But he is also the Vulcan, Mouseber, Hephaestus, Erichthonius, all these volcano gods are rooted in the essence of this pentagonal springtime constellation that, again, with Chris Knowles, Chris Knowles will tell you that Mithras is Perseus. And I'm like, no, he's off by just exactly one constellation over. He's not wrong. He's just inaccurate by one constellation because Auriga is undeniably the real Mithras. He's the one rocking the Mithraic cap. He's actually in the position over the bull. He's kneeling on the bull's horns. And that knife to the shoulder blade cannot be performed by Perseus. Perseus is elsewhere. Auriga is the only one in the position to fully fulfill the Mithraic mystery. And I would love to get in Chris Knowles' ear about that he's close, but not perfect.
I'll also throw one more weave from the Lamb of Tartary into your Ajax thing. As you were mentioning I think thinking about one of the coats, how the Ajax symbolism matches with that. The Baromet symbolism is also like a woolly golden coat or fleece. The golden fleece. I mean, it's basically in the name. It's what it means. Like a woolly fern or woolly fleece of gold.
Right. Yeah. And
Dang, why aren't we sharing this? Ooh.
oh, here, I got you. There you go. Yeah. And one more thing about tax day at 4:15 as we're moving into Taurus. That is the annual fleecing when they tax everybody. It is the annual fleecing ritual. It is the golden fleece.
Yeah, and it's interesting if you go down a little, even on the right, some of the images, like oddly, there's a little bit of like rib imagery in there where you like get like this. To me, it looks like you get like the rib of Adam, in my opinion, like that right there. I'm like, that's like a rib for genetics.
Yeah, man. And let me say a couple more things just to kind of empty my cup a little more. Like TAX is a 216, and 6 times 6 times 6 spells tax. 216 spells the word tax. So a great many people have already taken the mark of the beast. If you associate with this fugazi of citizenship, then you have already acquiesced to the mark of the beast. But I also need to say that way back when Venice invented their form of keeping tally of your income, doing uh, basically the credit system where they write down your exchanges and they don't actually require you to haul your coinage off your ship and go on the docks and count out every coin. They were expediting the process of goods and services exchanging. That was a mark of the beast. Venice's credit system was an original mark of the beast. And so the essentially what I guess I'm saying is the mark of the beast seems to be whatever the latest and greatest uh, um, uh, externalization, whatever the latest self-evacuating is. And whatever this big ask of self-evacuating of your sovereignty, whatever that is on this generation, that's the mark of the beast for our generation. And the kids coming forward, they're going to have another mark of the beast, where they basically roll out another convenience that the masses are portrayed as taking on, as onboarding. But I think with the bots, maybe the numbers aren't as honest as they would be if we were really assessing people's opinions.
Yeah, that's fun to think about, and I don't think there's like a right or wrong way to think about this, but I think fundamentally that there's a pretty solid argument one could make that the mark of the beast is simply just being human.
Mm-hmm.
You know, that
Yeah.
Yeah.
that we are truly all marked when we come into this world. You know,
Right.
and
Yeah.
that so jives with the Christianity and the the fight of the passions and the denying of life and or whatever that people go on about. But
I think that maps onto the carbon idea, the 666 carbon.
totally right,
Yeah.
that the mark of the beast is our human flesh bodies, that have desires and all that stuff.
Well,
So
it's interesting too because it's like if something is made in the image of the beast, because then it's like it doesn't necessarily have to even be the body. Then it's made in the image of man, which is it can be like an AI. Like there's so many ways to look at it.
Right.
yeah,
There's even an aspecting of like the blanket of presumption that you are a monster is placed upon you at birth. And I've even heard that back in the day that the original birth certification, that if you were upper class, they would actually put your right foot forward slightly. And if you were lower class, they would put your left foot forward slightly. And that this is the old-fashioned way of stenographically indicating who's in the eugenic class and who's in the dysgenic class.
That's interesting. Don't they do that? Isn't there a way they stand like that in masonry, where like if you stand
maybe.
with your right foot a little forward or left foot, it like signals, I think, a class or something like that. Almost like you're saying, but
Yeah.
just like which level you are of a mason.
Right. Yep.
Yeah.
And yeah, that is kind of the foundation of classism, right?
Mm-hmm.
And soul contract theory that, oh, you had the terms of the agreement when you agreed to come here in this world and be put in the class system that this world determined in advance.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's interesting too on that goat page, the goat of Tartary thing. They mention a river and they call it the Jack River, the Jake River. It's like Jack with AI in the center, but it's really the Ural River, and I don't even know why they would call it the Jake River there because it's not the name of it. It's called the Ural River. It hasn't been called the Jake River in some time, but they give you both, and they give you the Jaick River and the Caspian Sea because this is where it's near. This is where they thought this lamb was from. That's what they give you. It's just like they're almost wanting you to go down the AI route with that. It's so weird. Some of the stuff that you just find in these Wikipedia pages, especially.
Man,
so it's
prophecy.
just such a nerd for the Greek, to look up the image and what that word is. It's maybe more fitting to say likeness. That's what.
So interesting that it means
But-
bust. That's so close to beast too.
It's also the likeness monster. We have the likeness of a monster.
Likeness from eco.
Oh, it looks like echo. It's almost like an echo, like an echo or a mimic, a likeness.
So here I like to really say, yeah, likeness.
A copy.
There's a lot, but
Copy, that makes sense. It's weird how you have like truth, but then you have copy.
and it's interesting. 20's there too.
Yeah, what the hell is
It's
a
the
20?
beginning of the word 20.
It's two X's. It's the first time the X has replicated itself.
Oh, that's interesting too. Yeah, the chromosome.
Yeah.
Oh man, there's probably this is a huge. This is really interesting.
28. Well, so what I did was just search
Shrine.
the first. So I left off the in the new A, the NA, and just search the first 4 letters with the wild card. But yeah, it's interesting that 20 is
What's 120? Do you know what that word is? Will be
no.
because that was in that one biblical verse, Genesis 6:3. I think is 120 years is what the man is supposed to said to be. How long Yahweh gives man to live.
Oh
That's
right.
right. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's supposed to be our natural life expectancy.
Which almost sounds unnatural, and that is how it's limited to 120.
Yeah. And, 1-2 is, plays into the metric system, right?
Yeah.
12 inches, 12 years,
Exactly.
12 saints. Yeah.
Right back to the standardization.
Yeah. Big time.
So another thing I was dawned on me, it was kind of in our face the whole time. Probably everyone's heard of APAC. APAC is the Israeli American, hold on. It's the American Israel Public Affairs Committee, APAC. They basically own all of our politicians, and I don't know if it's APAC that does it, but some other one will actually like go as far as to write the bills and the laws and basically then gives them to Congress and they like bring it forward, but it's like these people freaking wrote it and like gave it to them. I don't think that's APAC, but maybe. No, there's some other one. I think maybe AL something.
Oh, yeah, I know which one you're talking about. The one that does more of like it designates what's hate speech and what's not.
Yeah.
What the hell
But
is
it's
it?
interesting. I think it begins with AL. I forget what the other one is.
Is it the ASL, like the Anti-Semitic League or something like that? I don't know if I'm just making that up.
No, there's a maybe
Anti-
it is APAC. I don't
Is it
know.
ADL?
ADL,
Anti-Defamation League?
isn't that it? I think that is it.
No, I'm thinking of one. It may be APAC, what I'm thinking of. But like, I thought there was this other one that. Yeah, anti-defamation. Like, I don't know. I forget I said that. But so this APAC thing, right? It's right there. It's AI, pact.
Totally.
It's like a
Totally.
pact with the AI. It's so Roku's basilisk. It is so Roku's basilisk. Writing the freaking history in the future. This AI, is in the Bible. It just so happens to be American Israeli. And one of the big things here, we mentioned last time how the APAC, brought forward this thing of the NIH people who wanted funding for their clinical research or whatever. A lot of it goes through NIH. And to play ball with them, they basically had to sign an agreement saying that they wouldn't boycott Israel, something to that effect. And so what is kind of crazy about this is that in recent news, apparently it's much bigger than just the NIH. Like they're trying to pass a bill in Congress that goes a step further and goes so beyond NIH and just goes kind of to more like everything.
Yeah, buddy.
And so
Mm-hmm.
I dug a little bit on it. And one thing, if you just look up, I you know, if I'm gonna go into something, I prefer to go to the Congress site and like read the bill myself rather than read a article about what it says, because it's like they always seem to leave something out. You know, they always seem to leave something out. I haven't looked into it this far, but there's a couple codes. One thing I did look at was the actual bill here from, this is the one, the HR 867. So it's to amend the Anti-Boycott Act of 2018. Now, what's pretty weird to me is I don't understand how anyone can pass a law telling you that. So let's think about language here. We just talked about how Black's Law Kama Sutra, okay? What does anti-boycott mean? Anyone want to guess? What does anti-boycott mean?
It means that
Against a boycott?
it means you can't.
So what's that mean?
It's a double negative. It means you can't
It's a double negative.
you can't not buy
You can't
from them.
not buy from them. So
However,
so okay,
is this real?
Take it a step
Oddly,
further.
on Wikipedia, they make it counter boycott.
Take it a step further. What does that mean?
It means you have to buy from them only. And
Does
if you
it
don't,
not? Am I crazy? Doesn't it mean that?
if you don't only buy from them, you must be anti-Semantic.
Well, absolutely. But just the absurdity of this anti-boycott language,
Yeah.
you know, and to think, and we were talking about this a little bit before, but basically, okay, this is the bill, the PDF that you get if you go to government, you know, I'm at congress.gov. But anyway, it looks like they're amending this anti-boycott act of 2018, and they're like adding you know, inserting or international governmental organization after foreign country. So they're like adding that international, you know, meaning probably, you know, is like UN and NATO and crap. They're saying that they can't boycott. So this really, like, I think Emily was spot on. Emily Moyer was spot on last time.
Mhm.
What I, you know, just go back and watch the last show.
We're in
Yeah.
the 119th Congress, too. That's interesting.
Oh,
Yeah.
very interesting.
So and then so what I'm getting at, this is just this bill that they're talking about passing really looks like to me, my preliminary dig, that it's really an amendment to an already existing anti-boycott act of 2018. So, you know, then you go look up that, and this is where I've kind of hadn't got that far, but there's 4881 there. Sorry, I'm jumping all over the place. You could see 4881, 4880, 4842. Sorry, 4841, 4842. And it looks like that's the only ones they've amended. So I haven't looked into it. I haven't read all this
I have
yet.
a few things that might be interesting. Just 3 little points that might
Yeah,
examples of
please.
examples of anti-boycotts in the last I guess it's not even 20 years or so. There's a few that are
Yeah, do
interesting.
you want to share?
Yeah,
Your
well, I mean, I
screen
could
or
I don't even think I have to because
Okay.
they're so simple. Like one was 2009, Whole Foods Market was boycotted when the CEO opposed Barack Obama. So, opponents of healthcare reform staged nationwide boycotts, which is one of the words for the anti-boycott or counter-boycott. I mean, I could share if you want me to, because this is the Wikipedia. This is how they have it
Well,
defined.
yeah, sure.
Yeah, let me
Because
share.
this
Yeah.
is what I'm getting at. Who was it boycotted by?
Dude, this is
let me
gonna map right onto my career with Whole Foods. In the time that I watched the church, there was a super church in Lafayette, in Colorado, and this super church was amalgamating a huge cult, and all of a sudden, all the people who went to this super church were all of a sudden being put into corporate positions here, there, and everywhere, including Whole Foods, just in the wake of the buyout and just in the encroachment of Amazon, which I call Amazon Santo. When Amazon Santo bought out Whole Foods, this topic was hot on the platter in that moment. Yeah,
Interesting.
let's pull up some gravy on that. And
Oh,
yeah, some of my
I tried to share it.
Okay.
Oh. Do I need to stop? Okay. Oh, there you are.
Cool. Thank you.
No problem.
But
So,
this
yeah.
is right. What this comment said. Yeah, it's spider. We'll get back to this comment here.
So immediately I saw they have it as a counter boycott or a boycott, which is really bizarre. And then they had these examples. So I guess we have a 2006 Buy Danish. So this is like almost a campaign. This isn't necessarily law here. It's not the same as what you're saying they're doing now, but they're presenting it the same, which is odd. It seems like they've done this before for Israel. I don't know what the BDS movement is. Boycott, divestment, sanctions.
Yes. Yep.
Yeah. So this is like a whole food it's like a nationwide boycott, but again, not a law as far as I can tell. It's just kind of a it's staged. It's a nationwide kind of movement that's staged, put on by the people or put on by government organizations who are influencing the people to do so. So we have Chick-fil-A. Apparently this same type of thing happened, where this seems more like it's protest groups or groups of people who are influenced by whatever the hell is going on in the news to then push for buying of something that was boycotted by a group of by another group of individuals. And this seems like the same thing, like the Goya food thing that happened. Yeah, same type of thing.
Damn. Yeah.
So it's really
when I read,
it's sketchy, basically, the definition
when I
of this
read
word.
in between the lines here, I'm seeing a massive dump on free speech, because reading through this little bit of these anti-boycott acts that is amended, what it's sounding like is that they're making it, or going to try to make it, illegal for someone to arrange a boycott, or to advertise that people should boycott, and stuff like that.
Mm-hmm.
Because what do you call a boycott when governments do it to each other? It's called sanctions, right?
Right.
Yeah, this is what it's saying right here. Specific unsanctioned actions that are prohibited under U.S. anti-boycott regulations include the refusal to do business with or in a boycotted country, discrimination against U.S. persons, and employment on the basis of race, religion, sex, national origin, provision of information about business relationships with a boycotted country due to its relationship with a boycotted country. Jesus Christ.
So think about this. Think about this. They're not talking about sanctions. They're talking about boycotts. And so what this, I think, reading between the lines here, is like trying to, it may create a law, if it doesn't exist already yet. Like I said, I haven't read through all this, but that the people, it is going to make it illegal to organize, to hop on, to create a Facebook group, to I don't know, pass out flyers that you should boycott Israel, this or that, because from what I could tell, boycott has more to do with us than really sanctions by a government.
Well, look at this.
So
Look at this last line here. This is basically kind of saying what, in a way, what there's going to be some sort of punishment eventually, because this is saying you're required, if you're a U.S. person, individual, corporation, even under unincorporated association, and you decide that you want to participate in an unsanctioned boycott, you're required to report that to the Office of Anti-Boycott Compliance.
and so that's what I'm saying. This so is about free speech when it boils down to it.
Yeah.
Because who the fuck can tell me that I can't tell someone to, hey, maybe you shouldn't buy from them, and
Yeah.
maybe I have a legitimate reason. Maybe I fucking don't. It doesn't matter. Who the fuck can tell you that you can't tell someone else that they can't or shouldn't buy from someone?
And I'm wondering,
like,
they're right now,
what
they're
the
probably
fuck,
saying a boycott, it has to be like probably something like they're making it, it's very, definition of it is probably loose. So right now they can say, well, if it's not an officially sponsored thing by some group or organization that's pushing it, then it's not necessarily a boycott. Individuals still have the right to make up their own mind. But that could quickly change eventually to then, if your neighbor's not buying from the shop down the street, you call the Office of Anti-Boycott Compliance, and we'll make sure to knock down their social credit score a few numbers.
Right. And also, they're basically just backing us into the corner so you can't refuse the next medical industrial innovation, the new normal that's coming down the pipes. And this really is playing into, this is like piecemealing, step by step. It's not really small totalitarian tiptoe. They're really taking larger strides at a time right now with the accelerationism of it. But these are all moving towards putting the one world court in District 9, Kings County, New York, at which point everything you thought was law will no longer touch the ground. They're going to lift your feet off. You thought you were walking on legality, and then you do your due diligence and you learn about what is lawful. And you're like, oh, I've learned about what is lawful in the world. And so now you know about affidavits of truth, affidavits of fact. And then as soon as you get affluence in that, they just raise the stakes on everybody. And now we're all in international waters, and your affidavits are for naught. You will never have another affidavit accessible to yourself that the state does not benefit from. You're no longer looking for the approval of the state. You now have to prove that your affidavit is beneficial to the state. And that is what will happen when that one world court drops anchor and comes into place. It's called Circuit District 9, Kings County, New York. That is to be more impeccable with my words. And that's the old slick incident prophecy. That's what all the tarot cards are pointing towards.
Sorry about that.
Yeah.
So this is interesting. Back in 1979, there was a whole anti-Israel, or not anti-Israel, anti-boycott act for Israel. The IABA.
That's 2009.
Oh, yeah. So this amends the Export Administration Act of 1979, and this started in, what is it, 2020? It looks like. Where's the history? Oh, 2017.
Oh, wow. Okay.
So this must be related to everything that even was being just pulled up by PK.
So, I think this is just so bizarre because like we just broke down anti-boycott and how it's a double negative, and it really means, like, how can, even if I owned a company, how can the government tell me who I must purchase from?
Yeah. That's
just what's not making sense to me. Now, I know there is definitely, back to the comment DE made earlier about this one. It's a spyware that we can't boycott. And so, I listened to NPR the other day for research purposes, and and they were on there talking about. No, seriously, I only listen to it sometimes because I want to see, what the
Know
fuck
your
they're,
enemy.
like,
Yeah, know your
brainwashing
enemy.
everyone with. I'm like, so I tune in time to time, and caught yesterday or the other day they were talking about implementing an AI facial recognition software in Israel or somewhere around there because they tied it in with humanitarian efforts, and like Hamas was getting into their humanitarian places and getting supplies. So this AI facial recognition software, I guess they upload all the terrorists or whatever into it. Then when they come, try and get food or supplies or whatever the fuck, this AI facial recognition software. But it was just weird to me that from from everything we talked about last week, that now a few days ago, I hear this on NPR of this Israel, implementing this AI software shit. And this, was no surprise, but just to know that that's the step it's going for. But I still don't see how do you force someone to buy something? Because isn't that, it's we're supposed to be against monopolies. I know that's kind of bullshit, these days, but it's just a step further to say that you can't not buy something.
Are you seeing this here? This is kind of interesting because this is saying the APAC or AI PAC continues to support IABA and similar legislation, saying that the legislation protects the First Amendment rights of those who choose to boycott Israel in their personal capacity. However, organizations like the ACLU, and maybe that was the other one you were thinking of before, I don't know, disagree and have sought lawsuits on those grounds. So
yeah,
the APAC.
What's that? 17. Click that.
I want to plug in a quick formula here. That
just get you to the Israel Anti-Boycott Act.
Okay.
Yeah, it takes you to their website.
So something you just mentioned, Chris, fits into the formula that Chance and I elaborated on when we did a breakdown of verbal judo. It was a great episode. Chance and I did one with Beth Martins, and we did one on Chance's channel. And that is that the military police, who we still call cops, they have this modus operandi that is, say whatever you want. You can say whatever you want, but you're going to do what we say. And that is, you can protest. You're welcome to say how much it sucks, but you're still compelled into action by our will. And this is the is-ought razor. That you can say this is shitty, but what you ought to do is predetermined by them. And this is a direct attack on free will, y'all. This is the fight. This is the big fight. This is the big showdown. And then one more thing I want to say, that CAPIA, what is it called? APAC? AIPAC.
Yeah.
In reverse is CAPIA. And CAPIA is the big mama goat over the shoulder of Arick. And so again, we have this confabulated fabrication hailing to Hephaestus, Arick, the volcano god, the innovator, the charioteer, CAPIA.
So this is bizarre too, that the AI PAC or APAC won't sue you, but they'll just get the ACLU to sue you if you don't go along with the anti-boycott, which is these are supposed to be the people who are supporting all these minority groups and whatnot.
Yeah, man. Yeah. Okay, I want to put some good news in the mix, everybody, just so just to kind of to cut your black pill overdose potential here. I think the good news in all of this is that it is past time for the barter system. Everybody should be hooking up and integrating a barter system on whatever level you can access it now, because you're going to need practice going forward, because it's going to become a little more tit for tat. But at this point, in its informal stages, whatever you can do to just kind of trade and exchange services for your fellow man is the best thing you can do to be a good prepper in the climate that we see rolling forward. So yeah, I just want to make sure that we're not just telling everybody it's doom and gloom. I want them to see the good news of the potential of leaning into a barter system. I'm going to hit
I
the
think
head.
I was thinking of
listening.
Alec. ALEC? The American Legislative Exchange Council. I think I was thinking Alec. Cause they'll like write bills for the politicians and like give it to them, and then they like present it as if it's their bill. And I think they were ones that like, you know, really had something behind the whole rise of prison for profit, you know, private prison profiting off of that. And they do a bunch of you know, crappy stuff.
Yeah, all these goddamn.
Pretty sure that was it. The other one I was thinking of started with an A, and it's interesting. It's AL, ALEC. Yeah.
Yeah. What happened with Slick?
So.
Did you want to bring up the other? Was there another? There was another AI thing you had, right? Or was that just the APAC?
No, it was just the APAC, and I dropped the links in the chat.
Oh, didn't you connect something to when I just randomly had mentioned a group out here of it was like a sect of Judaism being practiced by various celebrities. I had dropped in Telegram the other day, and then you you had found like a very interesting correlation to like where it was located here.
That's what I wanted to ask you, actually. Yeah, I'm glad you brought this up.
So Kelahat, Israel, I think, is the one out here. The group. It's a Reconstructionist synagogue in the Palisades.
Can you pull up that wiki? I got a question about.
This is really random and interesting, and I actually didn't even realize it was in the Palisades when I sent it. I was just quickly just like looking at it and named
in the Palisades.
That's more even more interesting.
Basically means cross. We do.
Totally.
Yeah.
This is interesting.
You remember the Palisade?
Big time.
It's basically like when you look up Storos, that word in Greek, like the Palisade, it is like there's a cross connection with Storos, and palisading means like poles in the ground, basically.
It's like a fence line, and fences on the chariot card. The chariot card was fully in play because they're putting in a new train system, right? The new rail system.
Yeah.
Just a quick side weave, fellas. Something that's been kind of playing in my back of my mind is that boycott in reverse is almost Ty Cobb. Almost. It's like Toy Cobb, almost. And that's just kind of echoing. I'm like, what? Isn't Ty Cobb a baseball player? So I looked it up.
Yeah, totally. I used to. I may still have his baseball card.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, nice. Well, turns out he holds a record for stolen bases, which is military language. Takes on a different context in the military. But he also still holds the most times anybody has stolen home. He has stolen the home base.
Really?
54 times. He holds the record for stealing home.
He holds the record for that shit?
Yes. So this
this is so long ago. He's a white dude.
Is he? I didn't think.
I'm almost positive he's a white dude. So that's kind of even
more.
He's
white. He's white. Yeah, he's totally a white dude. But yeah, he has stolen home more than anybody else. And this anti-boycott situation is going to steal the homes right out from under everybody.
Did you want me to keep sharing that page?
Yeah. What is this? This is a trip.
So
When did I post
Yeah,
this?
what did you pull this up for?
So it
Anyway,
was
first.
what? Okay, I think I was watching
remember?
So, oh man, why the hell did I find it in the first place? That's the
All
real
right,
question.
whatever. It's okay. I have a question about the map in the bottom right.
Yeah.
So, what is that section that we see in the like brighter yellow? Yeah, is that like LA County? Does that mean anything to you? What is that?
So this right here is the Palisades, because that's where
Right.
this
But
is.
what is the?
Which is okay. So let's bring up another map of
Do you know what I'm asking?
Yeah.
So
So
you
I
see
think
how there's
I
dark
think
yellow
right over
around
here.
the outside?
This should be over here, Los Angeles. Like, I mean, these I think are the Santa Monica Mountains. So Burbank is going to be, I think, right around here.
But what?
And
Why is this?
I'm wondering if this is maybe
Why
Los
is it
Angeles
the
County.
brighter yellow? Yeah. What is that?
Let's see if I hit Los Angeles. If we get a map, can we get Los Angeles County? Does that look similar?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yep.
I think it might be Los Angeles County. So if I go back, yeah, Los Angeles County. This has to be Los
So
Angeles
that's
County.
a county.
Yeah, which I think that makes sense. Los Angeles area metropolitan area location map. Yeah,
It does make sense.
yeah,
And
which
so
is wild.
this may be a little far fetched what I'm about to share, but Gabe's shared crazier shit than
Oh,
what I'm
and
about to
before you do,
share.
I remember why. So I was watching because the girlfriend had on the Mark Twain Awards, and what's his name, the redhead dude was getting Conan, and Adam Sandler was presenting, and I realized Adam Sandler has Happy Gilmore 2 coming out, and I was like, oh, look at all these people that are in this weird ass little Reconstructionist synagogue, and then I was looking at what Reconstructionist Judaism was, and I was like, oh, basically it means, and I saw Bernstein here,
Oh my God.
and then Reconstructionist Judaism is just like basically you could change the rules like as we go and reinterpret
Oh, like
them.
Mormons?
Like I mean, yeah,
It's Mandela effect Judaism.
it's like basically like you could change. Yeah, as we go, you can become more progressive, change things for the times. It's yeah, it's bizarre.
It's a moral relativism as a religion.
Yeah, it's like you keep the Talmud, but then you add on top of it whatever you want. So yeah, but let's go back to that map because I know that that's where PK had his connection here, and I'll stop sharing.
Whoa, check this out. Check this out, fellas. That's far out. That is far out.
What?
Ty Cobb is totally an anagram for boycott, you know? BOYCOT.
Oh yeah, it is.
BBOYCOT. And that's a trip. Yeah, big up D.E. Saccone.
That is a trip. So, like I said, take this for what it's worth.
This is
Slick has
bizarre,
said
though.
crazier things.
No,
I
this
love
is-
that.
Are you gonna share that image from the Telegram?
Yeah.
No, it's strange. When you right when I knew it before even looking at what, like I didn't have to go back and look, and I didn't look at that Wikipedia for a long time. I looked at it once and sent it to you guys. Didn't look at it again. But as soon as I saw what you sent, I was like, oh, that's weird.
So does
That's
LA
weird.
County not look like Greater Israel?
And then I'm sure within the LA County, you can break that down, like to where that line even comes across. If you look at the LA County map, you see there's like a line, kind of right before that leg of it, like that right before it thins out. If you use that as the dividing line, it looks even more. I would say like that. Like you could probably divide it in a way where it looks even more like this, based on city within LA County, or an area within LA County where there might be a certain group of people more so than other. Which they do have around here.
Yeah, there's plenty. I mean, everyone knows the movie business is heavy Jews.
Yeah.
So it's like, dude, this is just so bizarre that it's like, I don't know, man.
Even that being right up against the water, like the Red
right
Sea.
up against the water, and even look at here might be a stretch, but look at that red dot where this Jerusalem thing is. Well, I say Jerusalem. I just gave it away. Look at Jerusalem here.
Same spot, right?
That is
What
trippy,
the
bro.
hell?
It's
That is so
kinda there. So you flip
Yeah.
this, whoosh, it'd be like Jerusalem's like right there, which is
Yeah.
like right there.
Yeah, it's a perfect shapeshift. Like I can totally see how it would be done. You would just like flip the lid. It's a flip top lid into place, and that's a hand in a glove, bro.
It's weird too because like on that map on the I don't know if they do this often, which I didn't think they did when like this is supposed to be a synagogue, but on that map you would think that red dot would be the city when you go over it. That's the city it's in, right? Pacific Palisades. No, when you go over the red dot, that's called what is this word? Kalahat, Israel. Like that's the synagogue.
Oh, so it's almost like
It's almost like they're naming
a-
it Kalahat, Israel.
right,
Like
or
that.
I
maybe
just think that's crazy, man. LA County looks like freaking Greater Israel. You
And
know,
that is
like
nuts.
What does
That is
does
nuts.
anyone know what Kalahats mean? It almost reminds me of kill, but or K hill. There's a hill in there.
I have no clue. I have no
It'd be
clue.
interesting if that had something to do with greater.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Yeah, they're definitely drudging up these words from the eldritch ones of Lovecraftian mythos.
Oh, it means rings in Finnish. What? That's so. Oh, I thought for a second you said not Lovecraftian, but something else. But I thought you were gonna say like token for some reason. But it says rings. It says Kalahat means rings.
Damn, wondering to rule them all, y'all.
That's weird. But that's Finnish. What?
oh, Finnish, interesting.
Damn, some Bach Saga getting dragged into the
Wait,
crosshairs.
so if it's a Q and then it's that becomes more Hebrew. You get a possession. That's weird. Assembly, congregation, or
Oh.
possession. Yeah.
Okay. That yeah, that kind of plays into the boule. The boule means a council or yeah. And it is the name of a secret society as well.
Yeah. Yeah, and then another reason I thought that was interesting. Whoa, wait. There's stuff here about the Torah. Oh, they have all this stuff about this word kehela being related to the wild, disorderly, chaotic, unruly nature of the individuals who were worshiping the calf when Moses came down from the mountain. Apparently this word is attached to that as well. I don't know how. I'm just reading like the summary section.
Yeah.
Yeah, calf was at Via Kahel. Golden calf was at Via Kahel. Turned the Israelites into a Kehillah, a community. That's weird.
That is so weird. Yeah. And like think of how the golden calf is the communal commitment to melt down your gold and contribute it to the collective. You know what I mean? The golden calf totally plays into when Nixon snatched all the gold and made it illegal to have gold, and you have to send it in to have it melt down for Fort Knox. And now today we're looking at Fort Knox and we're saying, what was that about?
So I just clicked the link so I could actually read it properly. So it says a Kehillah is a community of individuals who come together for a common goal or purpose. Although a Kehillah can become a chaotic mass, such as during the sin of the golden calf, when the positive character traits are combined in pursuit of a goal, much good can be achieved. That's a weird run-on sentence they had there. But that was from some Jewish website.
I'm going to translate to that the hubris of collectivism.
Yeah. And then
There you go.
And then there was one other interesting thing that I don't want to forget the reason I had thought this location was weird in the names because you have like already 2 celebrities on that list that was already small that have died from head injuries. Like Bob Saget, who
Oh,
remember
shit.
remember
I
when
forgot.
he's still on the list. I don't know. I mean, he's gone, but still on the list. And then there was one other one.
Dude,
He's not there anymore, but I can't even remember who the hell it was. I had mentioned him, I think, in the chat. Let me see.
Bob Saget's death was a shit show of synchromistic fireworks. If anybody missed the Gematrinator's presentation on that, dude, if Derek from the Gematrinator, he only needs to be 25% right. He only needs to be 25% on point to be like, what the fuck is going on? But when it came to the Bob Saget thing, I'd be satisfied with 5% correct. It was out of control with Bob
Yeah.
Saget.
Yeah,
It had a lot to do with Sagittarius, right? Sage, Saget. Yeah.
Yeah, I can't find who the other one was, and it wasn't like necessarily a head injury. It was a head tumor. The second person, and I can't remember who the hell it was. They're not on the list, whoever it is anymore. It's a very small list of individuals. So I just thought that was odd that all these famous people and then 2 deaths like that. Just bizarre location on top of it. Very strange.
These fucking new agers just make it up as they go.
Yeah.
So,
Right.
yeah, so I got a small handful of slick dissident artistic deposits, just that I've accumulated through the week and I've thrown together for sharing. But you guys want to take a walk through the
Absolutely.
slick dissonant
Yeah, let's do
gallery?
it.
All right. 1 second while we go into Zoomer tunnel vision. Am I Zoomer or am I Boomer? What am I? I don't even know. So this was a subject I really wanted to share with everybody. From this kind of hails back to some old slick dissident videos from a long time back, and it was in the time frame that the final experiment was about to be launched onto the masses. And slick dissident has a one-of-a-kind lens, and nothing comes across my dashboard without landing on so many of the synchromistic systems I enjoy. Ellsworth Mountains were already on my radar before the final experiment was announced, as the Ellsworth Mountain range is in a crucial location, as I took a tour through, I think his name is Thomas Scott, or is it Robert Falcon Scott? That's it, Robert Falcon Scott. That's his name. He's the adventurer who went down to Antarctica, enlisted entire sequence of anomalous locations around Antarctica. And I basically went step by step through all the anomalous locations and corresponded them to the different steps on the Enneagram that is corresponded in reverse to the Odyssey. And the Ellsworth Mountains were on my radar from that project before the final experiment announced that they were going to this location to do their final experiment. And what is provocative to the utmost is that I have already corresponded the Ellsworth Mountains with the reticular formation of the brain. And the reticular formation of the brain is responsible for, broad brush definition, it's responsible for arousal. It is the nexus point of arousal, of getting a rise out of you. And in my assessment of Odysseus's Odyssey, it is in the moment when he goes to Hades and does a blood sacrifice and spills blood out on the earth to draw in the spirits. And the spirits want to drink the blood, but he can't let them drink the blood. This blood offering is for Tiresias. And so he has to keep all the hullabaloo at bay with his sword, which tells us that the spirits are actually responsive to iron. And he has to wait for Tiresias to show up to accept the offering that is spilled out in the scene. And what is really fun and fascinating is that just off to the side of Ellsworth Mountains is this location, the Blood Falls. And the Blood Falls look exactly like the scene that is painted in the Odyssey, where the blood is spilled out on the ice. This is allegedly I think it's a type of iron oxide that is naturally pouring out in Antarctica, that is basically substantiating the scene of Odysseus pouring this blood out as an offering for Tiresias to come and give him counsel. But I want to play a quick video. Here is a synopsis of the Odyssey as it plays in reverse through the different vices of the Enneagram. And it is down here between the 4 and the 5 where he is in Hades. He's in, I call this the gap of the Pythia, the 5 to the 4 gap. And that's also where I put the universe card way before I even approached the Odyssey. The universe card was down here before I even did the project. But here, I'm gonna, give me 1 second. I'm gonna share the scene from Star Wars where the universe card was forever immortalized and instilled promulgation protocol style onto our expectations. And the crazy thing is that in Star Wars, when this tarot card is animated and immortalized, oh, here we go. Okay, I'm gonna have to do share screen again. There's something very interesting. A change of heart takes place that is so iconic. Everybody's totally going to remember this. And I got to do 30 seconds at a time.
Wait a second. Did you know that Christopher Nolan's next film is The Odyssey?
I've heard this. When is it coming out?
2026. July 17th, 2026.
Oh, wow. Yeah, that's going to be so profound. Okay, here we go. Hold on. There's probably a commercial. Freaking commercial. Isn't this Drew Barrymore's son?
A long one.
Yeah.
That's Pete something from Saturday Night Live.
Okay. Yeah. I thought he was related to Drew Barrymore, but I might be wrong. I don't know my celebrities here.
I don't know. I doubt it. I don't think he is. I don't know.
Okay. All right. Let's see. So here's my mute button. Okay. All right. Fair use. This is for educational entertainment purposes only. Here we go. This is the scene where the the Thoth deck universe card that used to be called the world card in the Rider-Waite. In the Thoth deck, it's the universe card. This is where it becomes immortalized in our culture, is this scene right here.
We got no sound.
What's that?
No sound.
No sound? Oh, you know why? Thank you, PK. Thank you. Hold on. This is going to take Slick a second. Yes, thank you very much, my friend, because I need to share it a different way. Let me see if I can share it correctly. And there we go. Okay. Check this out. Tell me if it's good.
Yep.
Yeah? Okay.
Hey, I don't get it. Yeah, it's just a dead animal, Chewie. Chewie, wait, no!
So they get caught in a net. The reticulum constellation is totally coterminal to the Pavo constellation and the Telescopium, Microscopium, and Indus. These are all coterminal constellations amalgam into a cinematic experience. And so they're being caught up in the dragnet, right? And in the faces poking out of the net are very correspondent to the 4 masks in the corners of the universe card.
Nice work. Great, Chewie. Great. Always thinking with your stomach.
You take it easy. Let's just figure out a way to get out of this thing. Han, can you reach my lightsaber? Yeah, sure.
Okay, I just want to point out how, of course, humanity can't save themselves. They need the robots to take the initiative to save the day.
I'm not sure that's such a good idea. It's a very long
So the final experiment is a big letdown. And they come down to Earth. Everybody feels the gravitas of the situation. And what happens next? All the globe earthers come out of the woodwork because they knew you were going to reach for that forbidden fruit. And now you must be punished. You must be punicked.
Mga bawas na nagdaan dyan sa
I freaking love the Ewoks, by the way. Probably one of George Lucas's greatest contributions was making it more relative to the children.
Hey, point that thing someplace else. Don't. You'll be all right.
Jaren, don't. Jaren, don't. Don't act so mad when you come back and find out that the world wasn't flat. Don't be vitriolic. Don't be pissed off. Don't choose sides. Just let it be, Jaren. Just let it be.
Chewie, look, give him your cross. Oh, my head. Oh, my goodness.
Ngayon, puno daw to.
The rays of the AI God comes to answer all your questions and make everything okay again. Oh, shoot. Where's my share screen? Okay. Yep, that was all. That's basically the summation of the universe card and the net dragging everybody up down in Ellsworth Mountains. And as soon as everybody is let down, they have to resort to this AI God to deify the machine. Very fun. Very fun.
And there's obviously like you're saying, the Odyssey playing out.
It's coming out right in stride.
And
right in stride.
That's why when you mentioned that, I also mentioned Apollo 13, because Apollo 13 has a lot of that symbolism in it as well, with the capsule being the Odyssey. And I find it interesting because I went back just now just to look at it really fast, the Apollo 13 thing, and I saw that there was an Apollo Soyuz mission. This is the first international crewed space mission, at least that's what it's called, with the Russians. And
okay.
I thought it was interesting. The date for this was July 15th, the same date that film that we just saw is being released, The Odyssey by Christopher Nolan. So I just thought, wow, that's crazy. That's wild. And I found that by clicking one of the astronauts, apparently on the Apollo 13 that was involved with the Apollo 13 mission, and whose name was Solomon. So through him is how I found this, because he actually wound up flying on this mission instead of Apollo.
Okay.
Or flying, whatever, who knows.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Amazing propaganda. Yep. Propaganda.
No, it's very much maps onto the Odyssey, and you could see like all the events as they happen. I'm sure someone could map it out. Gabe probably could do it better than any of us. If it just would take some time, and I don't even think it's worth it because it's so obvious at this point.
Yeah, July 15th will be a couple days after the Chump event, and quite a few fascinating things I've learned in hindsight is during the Perseid meteor shower. So in the week of the Chump ear-castrated event that is going to be the JK for the kiddos to come, during that week there is a meteor shower over in Perseus, or no, it might be the Aurigids. I might be wrong. It might be Auriga right next door. I might be exactly one Chris Knowles degree away from accurate here, but there's a meteor shower basically between Auriga and Perseus in the time that the Chump event took place.
Was the Montesoro meteor showers on your radar? Are they on your list?
No, but they will be now. I'll go check. Oh wait, yeah, they are on my list, but I don't have it with me. Yeah, it's on my top 20. Yeah, I can look
Yeah,
it
it
up.
is.
Yeah, let me peek at it. But yeah, it's totally in the mix. Yep.
These guys.
Yes.
Yeah, I was seeing if they made your list. It's interesting because, like, you know, reading the Constellation of Words website, there's ties to the cornucopia and, like, you know, abundance, and you got the mama goat on Ariga and, you know, Zeus myth and stuff like that. And these meteor showers, I believe, pop off come, I think it's around harvest time. Yep. It might be, I don't know, November 14th. Is that too late for harvest time?
That's too late, but it wouldn't be inaccurate for harvesting animals. You know, like we think of harvest as the fall because the plants, that's totally, you know, the plant cycle. But once you go into fall time, it's time to start hunting animals. And so there's even an availability cycle for your game through the winter time, much like crops in the summer.
That's true. Yep. Yep. So, yeah, I thought that timing with the meteor shower was interesting, but would have been cooler if it was fall, because then we could say, oh, we're harvesting the meteor shower.
Yeah. You know what,
You know?
PK, the peak of it is on the 21st of November. That puts it right in stride with Thanksgiving, doesn't it? Thanksgiving week is the November 21st-ish.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Yep. So
I did look that up. I think it's 27th this year, but yeah, typically it falls in that range because it's the fourth Thursday of the month or something like that.
Yeah, man. Yeah. And I always, I just think there's something, when I was young, I always thought, like, they talk about the cornucopia is related to Capricorn down there in the wintertime. And when I was a kid, I was like, that just doesn't make any sense, because in the winter is when you're trying to be frugal, and you shouldn't be like pretending like you have more than enough to give. When in fact, that is the spirit of Christmas, is that you have so much overflowing that you're showing off how much extra you have to spare by gifting it to your loved ones, you know?
Yeah.
But in a strange way, if you consider that it's not about agricultural food, it's more about meat, the hunting abundance, the abundance of, your game, your prey, so to say. It's a good time to pray for all the praying you'll be doing.
Dang, lots of showers go off then.
Yes. No, the fall time is the thickest of different meteor showers, all rapid fire right on top of each other. And they tend to be, well, the sun is down in the fall, like, you know, Libra, Scorpio, Sag. The meteor showers in that time frame are happening 180 degrees up in the springtime.
They are 180 degrees. Yeah.
They're 180 degrees in the springtime territory or jurisdiction. They're in the jurisdiction of the spring while the sun is down in the fall. Yeah, it's interesting to see them when you map them all out. They really communicate something for the big picture. When you can look at all of the meteor showers at once, yeah, it's my lifelong Gordian's knot. I'll be sussing it out for years to come.
Yeah, I think there's no other way to go about that.
Yeah.
Well, this was fun, guys.
Yeah, man. I got a few more graphics if you guys want to.
Bring them up.
Yeah, you guys want to.
Yeah. One other thing I just saw about that joint mission by Russia and the United States, the Apollo, it almost seems like Suez Canal mission. Apparently in Oppenheimer, if Jane Oppenheimer went up and did a test on embryo, like what is the exact fish eggs at various stages of development in weightlessness, which is exactly the same thing they said the only scientist who went up on that Blue Origin shuttle was doing for the 4 minutes that they had in weightlessness.
Man, okay.
So there's a weird connection that's happening there. That's like spot on to the same exact, like there was, but she was actually studying, like, she said she was studying the effects of a period and female eggs basically in weightlessness, the one right now, in 4 minutes. I have no idea how, and seeds as well. So there were two different experiments they claimed were happening in those 4 minutes. Definitely didn't happen. Obviously, that would never be possible. And Jane Oppenheimer, which I'm guessing is an Oppenheimer related to our boy Oppenheimer, who made the possibly made the bomb, had 4 days, I think, to do this with the fish eggs.
Okay. Well, okay. I just want to point at these are such large thought forms. The word Suaz, of course, Zeus, but at the base fundament, it's pointing at Zoas, which means life form. It even is intrinsic to, I think it's called bios, is another word here. This is the driven life. This is the telos that informs life. And susia is also the word for dirty. So all of these biological experiments and the women's menstruation system, they're all kind of tethering into all things considered foul, bestial, animalistic, all the way down to the fact that the word South is actually a pejorative. To label all the people down there as South, the word S-O-U is hailing to the pig, the sow, the susia, the dirty ones.
And they say that Soyuz in Russia, in the Russian, it means union, which, like, that's the chimera basically going on there too.
Wow.
So, yeah.
Wow. So trippy, so trippy.
And
Language.
Say ooze, like the ooze.
Totally.
The Ninja Turtle ooze, like that's been coming up a few times lately.
Big time. All right. So these are just, when we mentioned it earlier, this is just kind of a free-for-all. We didn't really plan on any particular themes, so I just kind of grabbed from here, there, and everywhere. This one, I put this together for Zaralath, because we're kind of cooking on the vigilante protocols that are coming forth. If the age going forward is about self-sufficiency, then you're not going to be calling 911 when there's an emergency. You're going to be the only first responder there is. And so while they want you to think that vigilantism is evil or taking justice into your own hands, at the same time, we're moving into an age where vigilantism will be the new way forward for self-preservation. It's hard to speak impeccably because vigilantism means one thing now, but going forward, it might be the spirit of self-preservation at large might be misconstrued as what we call vigilantism. And essentially, the new movie coming out, I forget the name of it. It's the Black Widow Part 2 that's coming out. They're drumming up this new character from the Marvel annals of history, and his name is Century. And his name is hailing very much to the Centaurus, the maze of the Minotaur, and Oedipus. When Oedipus found out that he fucked his own mom, he gouged out his own eyes. And look at homie's got the red eyes, just like many characters through history. And there's a certain aspect of torment to the Minotaur's maze. That's why I put the torturer from Princess Bride is right here. But yeah, this is a graphic I'm probably going to try to unpack with our buddy Zaralath. But this Century character, I think, very much hails to the Hecatone. And when civilizations collapse and the family expectations become completely inverted from what is not usurial, then we come upon the age of the hecatomb. This is why Freud was obsessed um, um, with Oedipus, with the story of Oedipus. This was his Oedipus complex. He's really tracking the hecatombs in the collapsing of empires. And as uncomfortable as the subject matter is, the more uncomfortable it is, the longer his claim is going to live, because to a large degree, he'll be proven right time and time again.
What's a hecatone?
It's the old word for 100 years, and it used to mean the life expectancy of a society. It used to mean every 100 years a society goes through a reset. But we're at a point now where they have a new name for it, and it's not 100 years anymore. It's about 248 years is the new name for the life expectancy of a culture, and that's exactly a Plutonic cycle. Pluto takes 248 years to go around to till over the old ground, and America has experienced its Plutonic year last year. This graphic is work in progress, but did you guys hear Lady Gaga had a bomb plot down in Rio de Janeiro? Did you hear about this one?
I
saw someone mention something. I didn't know that it was actually a thing.
Yeah. So apparently, this is multiple attempts, but the headline is confusing. Like, third person planned a Satanist ritual, child killing. Yeah, it's very confusing. Like, what does the child killing have to do with targeting a Lady Gaga event with a bomb threat? It's weird. They're just throwing in trigger words into the headline that the whole thing doesn't even read logically at all.
Like an AI
That doesn't
headline.
read logically.
It's like an AI headline.
Yeah, what the hell?
Yeah.
Totally
It doesn't-
glitched out.
It's totally glitched out. The whole thing is just completely illogical. Our standards of expectation are being diminished before our eyes. But when I saw her with the Brazilian flag, I just had to pull up the Fool card because I've had a lot of pings around that South America between his legs and the Boötes constellation. But yeah, pretty sure everybody's being fooled to believe that. But I got to mention, Rio de Janeiro is where the one of the WEF, World Economic Forum, they had a big meetup in Rio de Janeiro a few months ago. So this just kind of echoes some of the agendas they laid out in that area.
The squaring of the circle there too.
Yeah,
Right
yeah.
underneath there. Yeah.
With her flag, yeah. This is an old graphic from way back in the days. I wish I could make it bigger. Yeah, don't ever let me say that sentence again on the internet. Anyway, this is an old graphic about Kylo Ren from Star Wars with his cross-bladed sword. There's an old festival in Wales and on the Isle of Man that is called the Festival of the Rin. And just something I wanted to highlight here is I recently made the correspondence to Alan Dulles' middle name. This is so rewarding. His middle name is Welsh. And that is just something I needed a long time ago, because the dragon on the flag of Wales, in my assessment, is the lower order of the red dragon, LORD, the lower order of the red dragon. And that is definitely pointing to some of the subjugation of the city of London. The mayor, that is the mayor of the city of London, he is the principality of the lower order of the red dragon, and Alan Dulles' name is hailing to his flag.
Yeah, and that tri-legged symbol gets back to like the ONA even, and there's a bunch of Black Sun type stuff there, which I still need to get into for another episode next time we come back, because I was looking into it a little bit, but I need to look into it way more.
It's such deep waters, isn't it? It's such deep waters.
Yeah.
And I just love the Dark Jar Jar theory. I know, PK, you're such not a Star Wars nerd at all.
Jesuits, shout out.
Yeah, man. Totally. Jesuit Binks. Jar Jar is totally modeled after multiple forms of Jesuit heraldry. Pretty fun stuff. And even the heraldry looks clumsy. Look how cumbersome they look. You know, they have like poles and keyholes in their ears and many sticks pointing in all directions. They're all cumbersome and clumsy. And that is
Yeah.
the modus operandi of Jar Jar.
That's bizarre.
This is a random one. This is another working project, but did you guys hear that the first driverless heavy truck service was launched on the U.S. public roads this week?
Good luck with that for them. I mean, it's gonna
There's
take a long-
driverless Mack
Yeah,
trucks.
that's going to be a disaster.
Heavy duty driverless truck service launched on what day? This is the peak of the Eta Carinid meteor showers. The May the 4th be with you was the Kent State massacre. And here we are at 5/5, 55 years since the Kent State massacre.
Oh yeah, did we have anything? Nothing yet, right?
Well, this is the heaviest ping I had, but I was really looking to the universities. I was totally looking to the universities to replay the Kent State massacre, but let's just keep our ears to the ground. It's only a matter of time before there's a
There's a shooting at here at FSU not that long ago.
really
Mm-hmm.
interesting. I'd be interested to see the date on it. But you know, the Eta Carinid meteor showers. That's another thing that kind of close enough is perfect. The meteor showers are longer windows than just the single day. But I like to focus on the peak expression. But yeah, this just had a lot of
It was like 2 weeks ago, I think.
Okay. Yeah, so a lot of
Oh, the
cherry.
guy's name was Phoenix.
But
But
you see that Aurora, that's the name of the Aurora driver. Isn't that like Aurora, Colorado, where like
Yeah.
that one, or am I thinking of another
No, you're right. I think that was
the
the
movie theater one.
the Dark Knight?
Yep.
The James yeah.
Carrot Top. That's where
Yeah,
Carrot
so
Top.
that's
was
weird. So that connects right to his shooting right there for you.
Yeah, big time. And also Pennsylvania is where Trump was when the air castrated event took place, and the whole iconography of that event was in the chariot card. The color coordination was chariot all the way. And Pennsylvania is in the chariot in my territories map. Yeah. This one is too convoluted. This is so convoluted. I don't know if I want to drag everybody down all the roads it would take.
What
But-
would Nietzsche do?
What would Nietzsche do? He would just flash it, let it speak for itself, and move on. If you didn't get it, it wasn't for you. That's what Nietzsche would do. But yeah, 23rd constellation by size is Serpens Coda and Serpens Caput. It says Serpens at large, but 23 is a very significant number because it's the 9th prime number. And the Serpens ascends to the 9th position on the Enneagram when I do the constellations by their prime stations of size. So 23 becomes the 9. And there's not a 23rd tarot card, so I have to use the Hierophant in place of it. So I'm bringing the card number 5, because 2 plus 3 equals 5, up onto the pinnacle of the Enneagram. And so yeah, the Serpens Coda and Serpens Caput seem to me to correspond very strongly to the Ninth Amendment, in which certain rights shall not be construed to deny or disparage others retained by the people. But yeah, I think this Ninth Amendment is one of the biggest open bleeding vulnerabilities in the armor that we consider our Constitution. But yeah, this is a fascinating amount of information. Also, PHI, personal health information. Phi is the 23rd letter in the Greek alphabet. So it packs right on to Serpens Caput, Serpens Coda, which is the 23andMe. That's your personal health information is your 23andMe. This one is worth mentioning because it plays into the graphic I shared earlier about the flat Earth agenda, the flat Earth psyop, or the round Earth psyop, the psyop of the shape of the Earth at large. And that is that Captain America has always been the Fool card first and foremost. And his shield is a flat Earth model. And very corresponding to the Fool card, Captain America, his superpower is jumping to conclusions. He's always leaping into battle. He's quick to action, a little hasty, you might say.
These might be older comments.
Oh,
but
hold on. Yeah.
They say, I'd love for you to talk about the Butler PA connection too. Do you have a weave on that? Anything on Butler PA? I think that was where Trump.
Yeah,
The
yep,
ear,
that's where
right?
Trump's ear castration took place, and the river nearest to the castration was like the Concrescenza River, which is Alfred North Whitehead term, the concrescence, and it runs right through James Kaplan's backyard apparently, which is really sinky. But the Butler, I just want to point at the Butler, like what's that game? Clue. And there's even a book that says the Butler did it, right? So there's like this blame, this accusation of guilt. Somebody has to solve the mystery to get to the bottom of the JFK for the kids. But furthermore, Batman's butler was Alfred. Alfred was a super spy, totally underappreciated super spy. And also, I'm just going to kind of conclude the whole weave by pointing at the Krupp family. In the Krupp family, K-R-U-P-P, I think it's double P, they're basically, I know that the word corruption doesn't come from the family, but the family can never be unassociated from the concept of corruption because they invented the idea of the company dying. And internment camps, prison camps, labor camps, all the camps, IBM, when they signed up all the Jews to go into the ovens, that was IBM doing their model of civic design based on the Krupp family agenda. And so when we're talking about Butler, PA, and whodunit, I'm going to point at the Krupp family because every other child in the Krupp family was either named Alfred or Frederick. Alfred, then Frederick, then Alfred, then Frederick. And this is the Krupp family legacy leaving their mark on all the generations to come out of that family. So when I look at Alfred Whitehead and his concept of the Concrescenza is in the backyard of Butler, Pennsylvania, I'm very much looking at the family lineage of corruption at large because they always named their kid Frederick or Alfred. And yeah. So that's all. That's just some of the loose end weaves around that. Hope that satisfies the question. And yeah, essentially, I mean, this graphic speaks for itself. But yeah, Captain America, full card, flat Earth model for his shield. And recently, they just did a huge nosedive on undermining your expectations in the film, the most recent Brave New World. Captain America has totally been grounded intentionally, controlled demolition. So this moment is a grand revelation of the method in Marvel because there's a corona over one shoulder, there's a corona over the other shoulder, there's a mask right here in correspondence to the dog at his feet. He even has a pole over his shoulder like the Rider-Waite Fool card. You know, he even has a little stick coming off of his shoulder, just like the Fool card. But in my territories map, this card is Fort Knox. This is Kentucky and Southern Illinois, basically where Fort Knox is. And what is the family crest of Kentucky? It says, "United we stand, divided we Fool card." That is the slogan of Kentucky, where Fort Knox is located. And so the sunk cost fallacy modus operandi of Hollywood is such a huge spell. You will never find it in the details of the minutia. You constantly have to lift yourself 40,000 more feet than you already were looking at the picture. And when you look down, you will realize that Hollywood has been role modeling on a massive scale the entire concept of sunk cost fallacy, because they're sinking their cost into all these special effects and cinematic outpouring, which is all money laundering. And meanwhile, the movie that they put all the money into is a huge flop. It face plants time and time again, but they don't care. The message is still getting through whether you like it or not. And so, yeah, a great amount of the role modeling of the laundering industry of Hollywood that has totally moved to Georgia, and some might say Austin, Texas as well. They're no longer in the location. When our words say Hollywood, we're actually lying now, because that entity has moved on. It's no longer in California. It's pretty much now in Georgia. So yeah, sunk cost fallacy. And then sure enough, the Fort Knox debacle is just a couple weeks before they tell us that there's treasure underneath the pyramids. In the shape of the pyramid, whatever, boxes, is highly correspondent to the Tesseract that was the MacGuffin of the Marvel films. I'm going to skip this guy. I'm going to suss this guy out a little more, but I just got wind of this guy, Channel 5, and just as soon as I laid eyes on him, he reminded me of the Titan from Megamind.
Well, I was about to say, he's trying to get you to remember the Titans, it looks like. Literally, I was just about to say that.
Totally. This guy's name is Titan from the Megamind, and the whole essence of this character from Megamind fulfills the Chariot card in a major way, which was all in play when the Titan went down to the Olympic that they told us was the Titanic, and then got imploded, as in don't ask, don't tell. Oh, but let me say this. This is kind of neat. So Juan made the association of the rock eater worm from Solomon's grimoires, and as it looks very much like the submarine. I thought that was really good shit back in the day when Juan was digging that out. But then I come along and I realize, wait a second. If the submarine is correspondent to the Chariot card, which it so very much is, all the way down to the remote controller they're using to navigate the thing. If the Chariot card is correspondent to the submarine, then Juan's claim about the rock-eating worm from Solomon is crazy, because the very hungry caterpillar is the essence of gluttony. And gluttony is the number 7 on the Enneagram, the very hungry caterpillar. So yeah, that's really fun. That finding out that the very hungry caterpillar is the quintessence of gluttony is pretty nifty.
By the way, before you start this next one, if I dip out early in a few minutes, just know, great show.
Okay.
I enjoyed it. Then you guys keep going.
All right, yeah. You know what? I'm just gonna rant through this one, and we'll call it.
Just because I got to bring her to work in like 5 minutes. So.
Okay, you got it. So yeah, gluttony for punishment. The number 7 vice is glutton, remedial virtue of abstinence. In this character, this Kilmar Abrego Garcia, his tattoos have incriminated him, and just because the government doesn't give a shit about symbolic literacy, they're just going to look at your tattoos and lay the blanket of presumption that you don't deserve to be on the planet Earth, and shipped away and punished for it. So yeah, the gluttony of punishment is totally in the backdrop of this Kilmar Abrego Garcia narrative. But that's about it. We can call it, fellas. I'm feeling it.
Yeah, that was fun, y'all.
Absolutely.
Thanks everyone in chat
Yeah,
for hanging.
Next time, let's make sure we confirm earlier in the day, just so I can. I want to be able to. I want to make sure we have as much time as we want, because I don't mean to be having to bounce out earlier at all.
All is well, brother. All is well. Yeah, this one is kind of flying by the seat of the pants, and also emptying the cup as soon as we can, because we know there's so much more coming in. There's so much.
Oh, there's so much I even want to bring in. I need to get onto the ONA stuff. There's a lot there. A lot.
Yeah, man. You know what else? Maybe we should do our next show maybe sooner than later. Maybe we don't have to wait a full week. I'd be down for.
I'm down whenever.
3 or 4 days from now, whenever it works.
Yeah.
Nice.
Absolutely.
Let's do it.
Let's do
Okay.
it.
All right, guys. This was fun. See you, chat. Have a good night, y'all.
Thank you.
Big
guys.
love, everybody. Slickdissident.com. Blah, blah, blah. Bleep, 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 bleep,
Get you
bleep,
some bleep, bleep, bleep.
bleep. Much